All right, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining me here today. Hey, it's almost noon Eastern Standard Time, the Monday after the beatdown by the Minnesota Vikings, and it does also indicate we're starting to see more and more stuff, not just with the Detroit Lions, but across the NFL, teams being aggressive, making moves. During the morning show today, we got word at the end of it that the Philadelphia Eagles had worked out a trade, fourth round pick, I believe is what it was for Jason Phillips, the defensive end linebacker for the Miami Dolphins is now going there. And then we got some information throughout the day. We talked about it briefly in the morning show, but we have gotten more and more information from 97.1 The Ticket, Detroit News, Free Press, and other outlets. They're all reporting the same thing. We heard about this later yesterday. The first wave of these reports came out during the Lions game and even after the Lions game. I mentioned them briefly during the post-game show that the Lions had been conversations with the Tennessee Titans about bringing back Kevin Zeitler, which is still seems like it's on the board. But now, as Bittino of the Cleveland Browns, Joel Bittino, is also apparently a target for the Detroit Lions. What would this mean? Well, if you don't know, Christian Mahogany is going to be out per Dan Campbell for a really long time. Maybe not season ending, but it would be back towards the end of December. So he's going to be out almost 2 months if he returns at all this year. We all get it. Taylor Decker is fighting through injury after injury after injury. There's been some inconsistent play with Graham Glasgow. Tate Ratledge is a rookie and having some up and downs. And as we're all probably grossly aware after the Minnesota game yesterday, maybe with some other evidence too of prior games, Detroit Lions are going to be as good as that offensive line, at least offensively. And yesterday, the offensive line couldn't open up holes for the running backs, couldn't provide pass protection for your quarterback. It's hard to do much if you can't do play action pass, because we know Jared Goff requires it to be a highly effective quarterback. Not that he's terrible without it, but he takes another step up with it. The Lions' running game was put to the test yesterday, not just in trying to run the ball, but also receive the ball and pass block. It does appear the Detroit Lions have a budding problem on their hand with teams attacking the interior portions of their offensive line. We've got MCDC giving us presser at 3 p.m. today, so just a couple hours from now. We'll have to wait till then to get more word on Taylor Decker's health. Also, Penei Sewell, both of them got beat up, momentarily left the game. Ratledge, as you guys know, did leave the game, came back yesterday. Really, the only one who went unscathed to any level was just Graham Glasgow at center, and his results thus far as the starting center for the Detroit Lions, let's just say it's been mixed reviews. Come to your own conclusions on that. What do you do? Maybe 2 weeks ago, I'm guessing most people watching this show would have ascertained the Lions' biggest needs was probably a pass rushing end. But after yesterday's performance and maybe some performances prior to that with growing health concerns across the offensive line, it does sound like the Detroit Lions. Brad Holmes, again, this is coming from Jim Costa. This is coming from Detroit News, the Free Press. You get it, mlive.com. They're all reporting the same thing, that the Detroit Lions are trying to reach out to multiple different teams. It seems like the bulk of those conversations are coming with the Cleveland Browns and Tennessee Titans. If you can bring in Zeitler, bring him back, it makes a lot of sense from a coaching standpoint, functionality standpoint. He was literally here just at the end of last year. Didn't re-sign. It's unclear how much the Lions really tried to re-sign him. He did come out and say when he signed with the Tennessee Titans, he wanted to be closer to home, closer to family, et cetera, et cetera. Now that the situation has changed there and here, wonder if they can maybe work out an agreement to bring him back on a one-year deal, maybe a contingent seventh-round pick or something like that. He does have a one-year contract. He can fill it out with Detroit. As far as Cleveland with their situation, I'm not exactly sure what the cost would be, but you guys get it. Bittino, he's been phenomenal throughout his career, seven-time Pro Bowler. He can play multiple different positions, tackle, guard, etc. I do not know if either one of them could play center. That would be another point of emphasis. I'm sure a lot of people in the Duke crew would bring up. I don't know how you would restructure the Lions' offensive line if you would require one of them, let alone both of them. And I do think you have a need to potentially add both of them, given the uncertainties of Decker's career right now, where he's at, can he stay healthy, and then maybe to a certain degree, Ratledge and Sewell both having some shoulder injuries yesterday. Pay attention to it. We're all going to want to keep our notifications on. I'll try to keep you guys up to date as quick as possible for all this. Let me get real quick to the New Crew comment section, then I got to get back to work. Doug, that O-line needs help. Well, the season is done. It could be that's what they're thinking as well. John confirmed that we have contacted them. Yes, yes. Confirmations come out from multiple different sources. The Lions have had conversations with them. Yes, indeed. JK, OFC, they got to do something. I would agree. I would think if you stay pat, you're probably going to end up chasing the pack, maybe even the Bears and Vikings in the North standings, let alone the NFC. Pankulit, Mr. Brand must see the need for us to add to the line, or our quarterback does not have the needed time. Yeah, I agree. Jared Goff yesterday, you saw him get sacked 5 times, under duress a whole lot of other times, and it did affect the passing game exponentially. Yes, John, a lot of reports on Lions and Titans talk yesterday about Zeitler. Yes, indeed. We had something that want to even say the fourth game and then definitely after the game. Makes sense. It was just here, yes, yeah, 5 months ago. Correct. Right, right. JK, why didn't they keep Kevin Zeitler in the first place again? I think from what I remember, and I don't have the information in front of me, he simply wanted to be closer to family and friends. And I'm assuming that means he lives near Tennessee. 5 fingers ready. JK, I believe you said you want to be closer to his family. Yes, there you go. JK, got you. Freddie, Camels are strong. If we can get them both, our line will be much stronger. But can any of them play center? I do not know if either one of them can play center. My anticipation is to acquire both of them. Maybe Ratledge or somebody else goes to center. It's no disrespect, in my opinion, towards Graham Glasgow. I think he's a better backup at this point in his career than he is a starter. But if you put Panay Sewell when healthy and say Zeitler back at right guard, maybe keep Bittino at the left guard and then Ratledge at center, or maybe, I don't know, rotate him some way, shape, or form. That offensive line starts to look pretty impressive, to your point. David Z said it wasn't about the Lions, but rather being closer to home. If we traded for him, he would now only need to deal with 3 months away. Correct. Yes, he would have to just complete the rest of the season and then obviously the playoffs. So just say somewhere around March he can go home. Buddy, pathetic performance. It was not great, was it, buddy? How does Philly always make moves? They don't ever run out of picks or cap. You're not wrong. Philly made another move today. You get it. They've been making moves. It seems like they're always associated with some trade, and yet they make it happen. Give Howie Roseman a lot of credit. He finds a way to get done. Big Eddie, that's why I don't spend thousands on going games. Fair enough. Brad, too cheap to make moves. I hope he does. He has made moves the last 2 trade deadlines. It just haven't been blockbuster moves. We got Philly always making trades, man. You aren't wrong. Michael, we don't have enough picks to do anything good. I agree with you with the big name trades, the first and second rounders. We have some 7th and 6th rounders, 5th rounders. Yes, we do. France Philly's GM is the best in pro sports, bar none. Might be accurate. He's always trying to win and then figure out the future. That could be a well said statement there. He's always worried about this season before he's worried about next season. We get it. It's Lions' way. We're going to worry about the here and the future at the same time. Buddy, the fans at the stadium had to watch this stuff. Yeah, I feel for them. Virgil, I really thought this was our year too, and it may still be, but right now there are questions about that offensive line. JK, wild, it is wild. Buddy Tinkle, whole new offensive line this year, not good enough to run or protect Goff. I would agree with that fully. It's not all on one person, it's on multiple people. We should trade our second and next year's third for Trey and Cincy linebacker plus their fourth and figure out how Woolen and Zeitler back here. Yeah, if we can pull all that off, that'd be great. JK, offensive help for our future. Yep, I'll concur. Buddy, Brad is not making any moves. I hate to say it. Fire Brad if no moves are done. Tired of this cheap stuff. Gary, Coach, word out of Las Vegas that JPJ down is available for trade. Young center and guard. Could Lions be interested? So, Jason, when it comes to him, I liked him coming out of college. I would have to do a deeper dive as to why he hasn't worked out with the Raiders, because I would assume they need a good offensive line as well. Gary, I'll have to look into that, but thank you for that heads up. No draft picks should be unavailable. Okay. Jeremiah Rossini just posted this. League sources say the Bengals are still asking for a first-round pick and any deal for Trey Hendrickson at this time. Yeah, I would say it's just my opinion. I think the Lions are going to be more focused on the offensive line than anything else. Been wrong before. practice squads or the draft is Brad's way, you are not wrong there. A young center is Powers Johnson. Yeah, I did like him coming out of college. Wonder why we didn't make a move sooner, but it's easy to say when you have Ragnow at that time. Jules, I think it's time to put our money where our mouth is and get our pride of straight offensive line fixed. Exclamation point. I'm down with that. Robert, no fear. And Brett, we trust. Joel, can't wait until the deadline passes. All this gossip profits us not. All right. John, Brad, Holmes, equals Scott Harris. Buddy, all these extensions are coming back to hurt us. Jeremiah, anything with the Saints still happening? I have not heard anything today. Buddy, gossip, you're not wrong there. Let's see, Gorilla, the Vanilla Gorilla, games are won through the trenches. 1,000% agreed. Our main strength was the offensive line for years, and now it's one of our weaknesses. I hope Brad Holmes can trade for some studs if possible. We need an OC. There have been a lot of people calling about that. I obviously did a video on it yesterday. Joel Dynamite, if Brad doesn't make moves, kiss playoffs goodbye, won't even mention Super Bowl. Could be accurate. Buddy, why come to Detroit? Why not come to Detroit? If you fix some things, you could make the playoffs and push for the Super Bowl. JK, I'll be surprised if we get a splash. Nah, I don't think it'll be any big stuff. I do think it'll be some lesser value stuff if we do something indeed before tomorrow. Howie Roseman just knows what he's doing and knows what it takes to win championships. Corey, here's what I'll say. I agree fully. He is always focused on this season to win. And when that season's done, he'll go ahead and say, you know what, I'll figure out some other stuff to worry about the next season. He's always on the move, always adding talent. One thing I can say through all the decades I've coached, if you have enough talent, you will find a way to get that talent on the field. But a lot of guys will be gone after this year. Could be. Robert Morton does not look like a savior. Could be accurate. Cynthia, good afternoon. And back at you, William Daniel. If we could get them both, even I would help so much. Even one would help so much. Agreed. Anzalo, Davenport, Davenport, well, you can't miss what you never had, right? Anzalone, we'll have to wait and see. Lions Zordine sure seems like they were doing a little bit too much Halloween party. Maybe that is behind it. Dennis, good afternoon. Duke Crew, trust in the process. We still good. I like the way you're thinking with an exclamation point. Trim Reaver, let's go Lions. Woo! And back at you. William Brad's going to make moves. He has to. I'll lay cash on in. All right, we'll go with that. Do or die bet. You're a party when you win the Super Bowl. I like the way you're thinking. Buddy, Lions offense is too predictable now. That's one thing I would fully agree. And I know I talked about it during the live cast of the game. Man, John Morton's just uber conservative and predictable because of it. All right, you will lose that money. JK, you better be working, cooking Brad. I hope so. Playoffs, says Tim River, buddy. Playing like this, no playoffs at all. Robert, playoffs? I knew what you were referring to. All right, guys, if there is more breaking news today, tomorrow, whatever it may be, I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. If you be so kind, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all.